time for back to school. Let's get into it. What's up guys? So as we all know, back to school season is right around the corner, and so today I thought I'd share some of the items that I'll be packing with me as I head off to college in a few weeks. Now before we get into all the items, I thought I'd introduce myself. So for those of you guys who are new to this channel, welcome. My name is Justin Chae, and I'm going to be a third year student at Princeton University studying mechanical engineering. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys who are watching this video right now are probably moving into college for the first time. And I remember what that was like for myself, you know, seeing my dorm room for the first time, moving everything in, saying goodbye to my parents, and not crying because I definitely didn't cry, and anyone who says I did is definitely lying. I know that it can be pretty hard to think about, you know, all the different things that you need when you're moving to a completely different environment. So hopefully a lot of the things in this video can help out. And just a quick note, I want to say that a lot of the things in this video aren't necessarily, you know, dorm room essentials as opposed to, you know, just supplemental items. What I mean by that is, you know, you won't need any of these things to, you know, survive at college, but they're definitely things that make your life easier and more fun while you are at college. Now, with that said, I've broken everything down into categories with the chapter markers down below, so feel free to skip around as needed. Starting off with technology, one thing that I always bring with me to and from campus is my laptop stand. Now, the reason why this is super nice to have is because sometimes it can be a bit distracting working at different libraries or just, you know, different places on campus, and so it's nice to have a nice quiet place to work within your dorm room. And so having this laptop stand is nice because I can just dock my laptop, it, you know, elevates it to a nice level for my eyes, and it's just really convenient to have overall. In terms of peripherals with my laptop, I also bring my Apple Magic Keyboard with me, as well as my Logitech MX Anywhere 2S. Both of these are super light and super thin, so they're really easy for me to bring in my suitcase. And yeah, they basically just stay in my dorm room on my desk the entire time alongside my laptop stand. If you guys are interested in some of the tech items that I use on my desk, I'll leave a link in the description to my desk setup video that I made last year. A lot of the items are the exact same, so make sure to check that out if you are interested. So the next item is chargers. In addition to my laptop charger, I also like to have 3 different lightning cable chargers plugged in my room, so that way I can charge either my iPad or my iPhone at any time, anywhere, whether that's, you know, when I'm at my desk or if I'm on my bed. In addition to that, it's also nice to have extension cords and power strips, just because sometimes the outlets in your dorm room are either hard to reach or you just honestly run out of outlets. So having these 2 items are also really helpful to have. Moving on to music, I think this is probably one of my favorite items that I bring with me to school. This is the Amazon Echo 2nd generation. Now, this honestly only serves me 3 purposes: listening to music, telling me the weather, and helping me wake up. It's super convenient to have just because I can play and pause music from Spotify without having to, you know, get my phone connected to a Bluetooth speaker and, you know, having to do that every time I want to listen to music. And also, given that I'm only using this in my dorm room, I don't really need, you know, crazy nice sound quality or volume. You know, it's just very functional for the space that I have and, you know, the needs that I need it for. Now, moving on to headphones, for the past 2 years, I actually used to use like the Beats Studio headphones that came for free with my Mac when I bought it through the Apple Student Store, but recently I was handed down the Bauer & Wilkins PX7 headphones, which are great for listening to music and stuff like that. Honestly, I only really use headphones whenever I really need to focus, and that's only really like 2 instances. First, whenever like I'm out around campus and it's like a super noisy environment, or also whenever I'm in my dorm room and, you know, people are being loud in the rooms next to me, across the hall, there's, you know, party going down, you know, 3 doors over, and sometimes I just need to study and not hear all these noises, and so it's nice to have, you know, headphones. Also, pro tip for anyone who's going to school up in the Northeast, or honestly just wherever it's cold, it's nice to have headphones when you're walking around outside because it helps keep your ears warm. So definitely keep that in mind if you are thinking about getting headphones. So the next category that I want to talk about is clothing, and this is honestly really dependent on, you know, the location of the school that you're going to, as well as, you know, your personal fashion taste, whatever. But one thing that I found to be super helpful for me personally that can apply to everyone is that I brought 2 weeks worth of underwear with me to school. Now, I know that might sound excessive to some people, but I just generally found it to be a more productive use of my time to do my laundry bi-weekly as opposed to weekly. Also, it's just better for the environment to do bigger loads. I mean, like, how much clothes are you wearing in a week that you have like a full load? You know what I mean? So it's just better for the environment in that sense. Also, I didn't really realize this, but doing laundry is a pretty big time sink just because you have to load it into the washer, wait for that to finish, put it in the dryer, wait for that to finish, and then take it out, fold your clothes, whatever. Also, another thing that I quickly learned at Princeton is that if you don't take your clothes out of the washer fast enough, you know, after your cycle ends, people who need the washer will just take your clothes out and set it on top of the washer and then put in their own loads. And so you come back and your clothes are sopping wet on top of the washer. So you have to be careful about that. And also it's just general common courtesy to be cognizant of when your cycle ends, just so that way you can move your stuff to the dryer and not taking up more space than you need to. Yeah. Now, another tip that might seem pretty self-explanatory is to plan your clothing based on the seasons. So for me, whenever I go to Princeton in the fall, given that it's in the Northeast and it gets colder in the winter, I'll bring more summer/fall clothes at first. And then when I come back home for Thanksgiving/fall break, then I'll bring back more of my summer and fall clothing, and then bring more winter clothes at that point. So yeah, it's honestly just easier because then you don't have to bring a ton of stuff on your first go. Like you're not gonna be wearing a super thick winter coat in October. Actually, okay, there's a chance depending on what school you go to, but more likely than not, you're not gonna need super thick clothing when you first go. So you can always bring clothes and then bring back in different cycles. So the next category that I want to talk about is toiletries. So if you're someone like me who has to fly to your school in order to move in, then I would recommend buying some of the bigger toiletry items such as shampoo, body wash, toothpaste, stuff like that. I'd recommend buying that at like a local convenience store when you get there. But for more personal items like cologne, deodorant, stuff like that, your skincare, then I would recommend packing that in your suitcase and bringing it with you. Now, speaking of skincare, I want to take a really quick minute to talk about the sponsor of today's video, 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Now, for those of you guys who have been on my channel for a while now, you know that I have been using 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 basically for the past 2 years now, ever since I got to Princeton. How they work is you basically just fill out the information, you talk about what skincare problems that you're having, and then what they'll do is they'll send over a custom formula bottle for you to use that helps target the specific areas that you have, whether that's acne, dry skin, oily skin, whatever. So if you guys have seen my videos from this past semester at college, you can see that my acne was definitely acting up a good amount, and it was probably just because I was wearing my face mask all the time. But I told my 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 dermatology provider, I sent them a message and they said, hey, my acne is acting up a lot. Is there any way that you can help out with this? And so they sent over a new treatment, basically a different custom formula bottle to help treat my acne. And they also gave out some super detailed instructions on how to better cleanse my face and stuff like that. So I was super appreciative of that and like how quickly they responded. Now, if you're someone like me who doesn't want to complicate their life with, a super crazy skincare routine, go out, buy different products, test them out, do research, all this stuff, then I'd highly recommend using 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. They're very easy to use and they're super nice as a college student because you don't actually have to go out to a drugstore, grocery store to buy these products. They get literally sent to your school mailbox. And it's just very easy to use every time. If you want to learn more about 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, I'll leave a link in the description down below to their website. They also offer free trials. All you have to do is pay for shipping and handling, so make sure to check them out. Thanks, 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. So the final category that I want to talk about is miscellaneous items. If you're someone like me who really likes, board games and card games, then I'd highly recommend bringing a set of, Uno cards or, a set of normal playing cards. They're super easy to take with you. They're easy to store in your room. Plus, it's just nice to be that person who always has like a deck of cards around. On the other hand, I would highly recommend not bringing board games if you're flying to school. Now, if you're driving there, then by all means, take it in your car, whatever. But for me, I learned that the hard way when I flew to campus. I tried to bring an entire board game of Settlers of Catan, which in hindsight was a very bad idea. It took up so much space in my suitcase. I never played it a single time, and it just took up more space in my storage unit later on in the semester. So card games, yes. Board games, maybe not as much. So the next item that I'd recommend bringing, if you own one, is actually a multi-tool. So more often than not, you're probably not gonna need like a legit hammer or drill, but it is nice to have, a screwdriver, a file, a knife on hand, whether that's, for opening packages, fixing random things around your room. It's just nice to have. For me personally, I own the Leatherman Super Tool 300 that I got for my birthday. I've taken it with me for every semester of college and it's been super great. I actually used it like multiple times now. So this next miscellaneous item is very much unnecessary, but I actually really enjoyed using it. It's actually a beverage warmer. So it's literally what it sounds like. It's like a little hot plate and you put your mug on it and it just keeps your cup warm. So the reason why I like it so much is just because last semester when I was taking all my online classes from my dorm room, I like to drink, coffee or tea in the morning, and so it helped keep it warm as opposed to it getting cold, within 30 minutes. Obviously, like you can get your own, tumbler, thermos, Yeti, whatever, but it is nice to drink it from like an actual mug. So that's why I really liked having the beverage warmer. I should note though that this might not be allowed in all college dorms given that it could be a fire safety hazard. So please check and make sure that it's allowed before you start using it. I'm like low-key, I'm pretty sure that it's actually not allowed in my dorm room. I just never got caught with it. I'm not saying that you should do it. Just putting it out there. I put a disclaimer. If your dorm room burns down, it's not my fault. Yeah. Finally, for miscellaneous items, I have my Fujifilm Instax Mini 9 camera. Now, I'll be honest with you guys when I say that using this camera is a bit of an investment. Buying their film is not the cheapest thing, but I will say that it's worth the money, especially if you buy them in bulk packages. Now for me, I actually really enjoy taking pictures and being able to remember a lot of these memories and stuff like that, but I hate having to go out to the store and print them, wait for them, stuff like that. So it's really nice that it prints them instantly. Also, given that these film cameras only hold 10 shots per pack, it really makes me more deliberate and conscious of what I'm taking a picture of. They also make for really great decorations. Like as you can see here, I have some Polaroids right here, and they're also just super easy to hang up and give as little mini gifts to people. So I'd honestly highly recommend getting one if it's within your budget. Alright guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. If you have any other questions or you have content that you want to see regarding back to school stuff, leave me a comment down below. I read through all of them and I'll try to respond to as many as possible. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video and got any sort of value from it, please consider subscribing. And with that said, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.